Hello, this is Tim Bump from NitroHouse, and today I want to show you how I measure the ride height on my RC vehicles. Setting ride height can be one of the trickier adjustments to set consistently every time. Most of that's due to all the stiction in the shock shafts and the suspension shafts. When you first set your car down, it may not settle all the way. If you push down on it, it may not settle all the way up. So to find the sweet spot in the suspension, move the suspension up and down till it takes very little effort to move it. That'll be your sweet spot. When making your adjustments, always do it with the battery in place and preferably with the body on. In cases where you have a truck like this, I'll flip the body upside down to make my adjustments. So I have easy access to the shocks and easy access to the chassis where I can make my adjustments. I like to use a gauge like this low-C ride height gauge, which has a nice indicator measuring the ride height in millimeters. Now I'll use this both for my ride height and my droop adjustment. So when I set my ride height, I'll settle the chassis right in the sweet spot, both front and rear, and then I'll go ahead and make my measurements on the flat spots in the rear and then in the front. When measuring droop, you don't have to worry about the body being on. You're just looking for the point where the wheels pick off the ground. So right at the point where the wheels are picking up, that's when I take my second measurement for the front and the rear. In general, on trucks like this Hyper 10 short course, we'll run the chassis lower on high bite tracks with a little less droop. On some of the rougher tracks, maybe with the larger jumps, we'll run a little bit higher with a little bit more droop. Also, if you're looking for maybe a little more rear traction, you can drop to the rear just a little bit, even raise the height a little bit to get a little more weight transfer to the rear of the car. It'll give you a little better traction when on power. Every time I have to work on the vehicle or replace a part on the car, I try to make as many measurements as I can. Droop and ride height are two measurements that are often overlooked. The more consistent you are at putting your car back together after having to work on it, the more consistent you'll be on the racetrack. I'm Tim Bump from NitroHouse. Thanks for watching.